So, kicking it off, the first fight of the night, man, and we really got to give the UFC some props here. This was the perfect fight to kick off a main card. Edson Barboza, 1 minute, 16 seconds of round number 3, takes out Shane Burgos in what was an absolute war of attrition. And Edson Barboza ends up being the man standing at the end. So, Al, I got to tell you something here, man. Earlier this week when I put out my prediction video, as I do every week on Tuesday, I said I like Edson Barboza in this matchup. If Edson Barboza can really invest in the leg kick, the calf kick early on, Shane Burgos, he's a very good boxer, but he's very heavy on the lead front leg. My goodness, I actually tweeted out, I think Edson Barboza might have seen my breakdown this week. He went in there, chopped Burgos early and often. I'll say this, though, man. Shane Burgos is a tough dude. He ate a lot of leg kicks. I think a lot of guys would have been incapacitated, would have absolutely just wilted and weathered away. Listen, he's a tough guy. Were they affected him? Absolutely. There's no one in the world that's just going to be unaffected by Edson Barboza chopping the legs like that, especially early in a fight. Now, this was a close fight. Edson Barboza, for my money, was winning. And Al, like I said, I started off this night a little ticked off, lost some bad bets. I mean, not necessarily bad bets. It's just, there were probably 2 likely outcomes to every bet I placed, and it was the other outcome that kept happening. You know what I mean? So variance, whatever you want to call it, it is what it is, right? But it ended up getting me very ticked off. Okay, so I started the night, like I said, not on a good note. I got mad, kind of forced a play here on Edson Barboza. I said the plus money. I picked the guy to win on my prediction video. Unfortunately, and this is my bad, I gotta take full responsibility for this one. I should have had Edson Barboza on the Patreon that I sent out to everyone. Unfortunately, I didn't. Like I said, I honestly kind of got mad, kind of chased, got a little overly aggressive. And it actually paid off. I had Barboza in this one, man. Al, before I throw it to you, dude, I got to say one thing before I forget. I'm very concerned about that shot Burgos took. Al, I've watched a lot of fights. I've been balls deep into this game for over a decade at this point. I've never seen someone eat a massive shot, regain composure, focus on their opponent, begin to move forward, and then all of a sudden, this guy's eyes drift off. He starts falling backwards and falls against the cage. I honestly was afraid that we saw something break loose. We saw, like, Burgos having a stroke. I was ultra concerned with how that guy went down. I've never seen anything like it. It's just that simple. I've never seen anything like it. And sure enough, the dude gets up and he's recovered. Let me throw it to you right here, Al. Just tell me what you thought of that moment. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Well, no, absolutely not. I've seen it in like other sports where guys have gotten hit in like hockey or football and they kind of just shake it off and then they drop. But that was very strange. And like it's one of those things where Burgos is just too tough for his own good, basically. And that was the case with those leg kicks too, where he wasn't backing down. He was like, I'm going to see how many I can take. Because he didn't switch stances. He was just still staying on that front foot. He was willing to eat those leg kicks. And I thought Burgos was doing some good work there. Like I had Burgos in this fight. Okay. And I had fight goes the distance. So it was kind of But things were looking well for Burgos. He had a good second round. He was doing the good head body head and that front kick. And that left kick to the body, and then the broadcast was saying he was really affecting Barboza with a good calf kick as well. Yeah, and then even in the start of the third round, I thought it was looking good for Burgos, and then it just wasn't looking good anymore. And it was like the buildup of the damage took its toll all at once, and then I gotta say the referee should have stopped it right there when he just dropped backwards. Like that was those extra shots weren't necessary, but it's one of those things where the referee, we're both saying, and even they were saying on the broadcast, I've never seen anything like that. So the referee is in the same boat, right? It's just like, what's going on?
Yeah.
It was strange. We've seen so many strange things in these opening fights on the pay-per-views lately.
That's a good point, man. You're totally right. It seems like the first fight of the night on a pay-per-view card is always just a weird fight. This was a great fight, though, as long as it lasted. I've just never seen a delayed KO as far as like a headshot. Like, it's just so weird to me, dude. Like, and I still am very concerned. They need to get this guy to the hospital immediately. CT scans, CAT scans. I still am concerned. There's something not quite right here. Usually when you see something similar to this, it's the liver shot. We see guys eat a hard body kick. It's almost like it takes the nervous system a second or two to respond. You'll see a guy eat a liver kick. He seems okay, might even continue to move forward. And then all of a sudden their body almost forces them to crumple like to a fetal position and really recede. And they almost can't get out of it. Then a guy comes up and starts teeing off on them. They're really not responding because your body's just forced to fold over. As far as a headshot though, dude, that was so unlike anything I've seen. I'm very concerned for Burgos. He seemed totally okay after the fight, which thank goodness, right? Because I thought this guy's getting like stretchered out of here. I just thought there was potentially something seriously wrong. Seems like he's okay as it stands right now, but I would not be surprised if they run some tests and they find out something isn't quite right here. I'm happy to win the bet, but it's one of those situations. I'm not going to go as far as to say it's a Chris Weidman situation, but I just don't like seeing these guys get potentially seriously hurt. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I had Barboza. Glad he cashed as a really good plus money underdog. And to be honest, my read on the fight was incredibly accurate. I even said before the fight, I'm telling you guys right now, this is going to be an absolute war. And it was. And let me tell you guys something else, man. Shane Burgos, as long as he's okay, he passes medicals, it turns out it's just a weird one-off moment or something. This guy's going to come back. He is one of the best 145ers on the planet. Absolutely. No doubt in my mind. And I don't think he really lost a lot of luster losing to Edson Barboza. I mean, this dude is insane. He's a monster. He's a freak. I think Burgos is going to bounce back, like I said, as long as he's okay. And Barboza's on a legit win streak, man. He's going to fight a top-notch guy. We're talking Barboza being two fights away from a title shot. What do you think, Al?
Yeah, it's so interesting. It's so weird with MMA how like guys, as they get older, they'll move up, but then we'll also see guys as they get older, they'll move down.
And I'm not a fan. You're totally right, Al. I mean, Aldo's done it. Barboza's done it. I mean, you're going to move down a weight class in your mid-30s? I just can't. That's not the natural order, right? As the older you get, you move up weight classes. You don't say, let me diminish myself and cut more water weight. And I mean, just look at Edson Barboza, though, man. That guy is just absolutely shredded to the max. Sorry, Al, I just had to jump in there, but that's a great point, man.
Yeah, and one of the crazy things is inside the distance on Barboza tonight cashed at 5-1 plus 500.
Wow.
So Barboza's stoppage victories in 3 of his last 9 UFC fights for plus 6.1 units on the inside the distance prop. So before tonight, it was just 1.1 units, but now with that giant inside the distance at 5-1 odds, you're making good money on Barboza inside the distance, and that was I guess that it was such a clean shot. It was just not really like I don't know if we seen him finish guys to that effect. Like that was devastating, and I think this is one of those guys that he's having like a resurgence as a veteran. He's one of those guys where they've weeded out a lot of dead weight in these divisions, and these guys similar to Charles Oliveira who've just been around for almost over a decade, And Barboza's pretty much one of those guys. He's been around in the UFC since like 2012. He's been around forever. So they've weeded out a lot of the dead weight, and Barboza's one of those guys where the cream just rises to the top. He can hold his own in against these young up and comers. And yeah, I would love to see him. The thing about featherweight is it's just such a logjam, right? And especially now with the Ultimate Fighter, right? Like, I don't think we'll see that fight until like October. So
no kidding,
dude. The way that the featherweight division, it's going to take a while for it all to work out. But yeah, I would like to see, Barboza. Yeah, we just got to see like how this division plays out for the next little while, and then find him an opponent. And then, like you said, Burgos, as long as he's good, I think you get him right. You get him right back in there, because he was looking good up until pretty much up until it wasn't anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Is there anything you want to say before we move on to the next fight of the night here, Al?